Welcome to Friar Coach's Corner. This is our sixth interview, and today we're speaking with head boys lacrosse coach Keith Weiser. Keith, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Sharon. I appreciate it.
Before we get into our conversation, I want to give a huge thank you to all our alum who own restaurants and have been donating food and feeding the heroes on the front line. An international family that attends St. Anthony's that has sent masks back across to the U.S. Thank you for getting involved and helping us in our fight. We also have several alum who are on the front line, along with all those on the front line that have become our local heroes in the fight against COVID. I also want to give a huge thank you to Brother David, our administration, Paul Washington, Brother Joshua, our athletic director, Joe Minucci. They have led us, they have given us strong advice, and they have really kept this family going strong and keeping us entertained and getting the right messages out to our students. All of you, thank you for what you are doing. So, all right, Keith, let's get into lacrosse. For those of you who love lacrosse and are into our program, you may know that Coach Weiser is chasing his 300th career win. He's only 6 wins away. So one more exciting thing to watch for when this season gets started and the team gets playing. Going into this season, you guys won your league and state championship last year versus Chaminade in a 14-13 win. Very, very exciting. When you are looking at your 20th season, where does that win stack up in your career wins?
No, it was a tremendous. I think overall it was probably one of the best high school lacrosse games I've ever been a part of. You know, two programs that always bring the best out in each other. You know, we're almost mirror images of each other. And I think last year's game, from anybody that watched it, alumni and just fans, college coaches, it was just two of the top programs in the country that just let the kids run up and down the field and be athletes. And it was just a tremendous high school lacrosse game that we were fortunate to come out of with a 1-goal win.
Yeah, it definitely was exciting. Like, I am not a huge lacrosse diehard fan, but that was a game that I could probably go back and watch again. And it was just really exciting. When you think about that season, how it ended, you opening this season coming in with the win. And then when you started doing your schedule, I have to say, when I saw your schedule, I made sure I marked my calendar to be at some of these games. You're ranked number 2. You come into a season with 5 other nationally ranked teams that you were planning on playing. Can you give us a snapshot when we talk about some of these schools? I'm going to mention them and just tell us kind of where St. Anthony stacks up when you would play number 5, Chaminade.
Well, Chaminade, I think every year, regardless of where we are nationally, both programs, I think each year it's a battle when we play. Like I said, two top programs, great coaches. You know, the kids have a familiarity with each other. The schools have a natural rivalry. So regardless of where we fall nationally, every year it's always just the best atmosphere and the best games. Win or lose, it's just a tremendous rivalry. I think, you know, the last few years we've both been very fortunate to be in the national picture. I think last year, you know, we played a lot of nationally ranked teams last year, and I can say clearly that they were the best team we played all year. And I had a feeling that this year was going to be the same thing, that, you know, both of us would be on that national stage, but I do think, you know, they were going to be the best team we saw all year. So it's disappointing that we haven't been able to do that, you know, as of yet. I guess officially we still have an opportunity maybe that we're holding on to. But they were going to be one of the top programs in the country, and it was sure to be an exciting game.
After seeing the number 5, then you guys would see number 15, Del Barton.
Now, Del Barton we've had a long history with also. I think you're saying 20 years, I guess I started. So I think within a year or two after that, I think we started playing Del Barton probably in year 4 or 5. And it's been a wonderful tradition. Again, also, both our freshmen, our JV, and our varsity compete with them every year. We rotate sites. It's become quite an event, and they're always, I think 2 years ago, they won the Jersey States with an undefeated season. Every year they're in the national picture. Just another tremendous athletic program. Would have been a terrific game.
We have number 18, Darien.
Darien's probably the only team in the state of Connecticut that has owned our number a little bit. We've gotten ahead of them here. I think the last couple of times we played have been great battles. Last year we were able to best them in that Geico tournament, but Jeff Braymeyer and Darien program is just a wonderful program. They set the bar for the state of Connecticut, and they go out and play whoever they can play. So, you know, just another tremendous national program that, you know, we're able to play, which gives our kids exposure on the national level. So it's just a pleasure to play them in the class program.
And then we had number 17, Manhasset, and number 12, Bullis.
Yep. So Manhasset is always, it's nice to play a Long Island team. You know, we don't have to go over a bridge or in a hotel to play a a great program. And I really, appreciate them playing us the last couple of years. We've had a Coach Cromwell took over the program, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and he put us on the schedule. So it's been tremendous. They do a great job over there. It's a Long Island tradition, Manhasset lacrosse. So we're very happy and honored to play them.
All right, like I said, now Bullets, how long have you guys been playing with them?
Bullets would have been the first one this year. They won the unofficial, I guess. They played a prep school championship at the end of last year, and they had a tremendous year. So we were trying to play them this year just because they were another team that was in the national spotlight. And each year we try to see if we can get those teams to play us, just to let our kids compete against some of the best teams from other states who they'll be playing when they get to college at the next level. Those kids will disperse all over the place. So we try to do it to get our program a little recognition and get these kids some exposure to some of the best players in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's very exciting for them. You can't beat being in high school and playing a schedule like that. So
no, it's exciting. And like I said, each year we try to tweak it a little bit. Because of our league, we don't get as many games as we would like locally. So we've kind of turned that negative into a positive and reached out and made this, what I think is just, year in and year out, one of the best non-league programs schedules in the country.
Congratulations again on, the schedule, showing off the program, getting these kids exposures. Now, when you have a schedule like that, you can't go facing these schools without, I guess, some firepower in your back pocket. Now, when we start to look at your schedule, you start thinking about your athletes. You graduated 18 seniors last year. Greg Campese, Jake Benami, and a ton others that were just very impressive. So now you're filling up that gap, and I guess you didn't really miss a beat when it came to the ability and talent you have on your team. So you open up this season with 3 Duke commits, Brennan O'Neill, Jake Nasso, and Aiden Danza. What can you tell us about them?
Tremendous players. I think, and we also last year, I think our other captain, Connor O'Reilly and Danny Parker, those were probably our top 4 seniors that you don't replace, you kind of just move on from. So, yeah, when you start the list of your returning starters with Brennan O'Neill, Aiden Danza, and Jake Nasso at the Face-Off X, and we'll touch on the other boys here soon, too. Andrew McAdory, who's an underclassman who is also back in that top group, and Jack Walsh, who's headed to UVA, also in that group. Those were the returning kids that had featured parts last year, along with Dylan D'Agostino, who's heading to Army. So when you're starting with a group like that back, it's just a huge help. Each one of them is immensely talented, driven, focused. So I think we have over currently 15 or 16 Division I commits out of the senior class, and then I think we have another 1 or 2 going to Division II. We have 3 or 4 going to Division III, and we also have 1 boy set to play at a pretty high club level. So when you have that core of kids back, even though not all of them started last year, it gives you some excitement and some real, comfort in knowing that you're going to have athletes up and down the field again. We're blessed with that at St. Anthony's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got a Harvard commit in Jaden Jerrigan, 3 Sacred Heart commits, one of them being Michael Weiserick.
Yeah.
Make you proud.
Yes, it does. Every day.
Your class of commits this year is just very impressive. And again, maybe gives all of us a little comfort knowing that you have a schedule that promotes them and to get them to see them really perform. All right, so you have a large roster. You've got plenty of talent. How do you maintain a balance with such a strong front line and giving everyone an opportunity to play?
It's hard. It's definitely hard because with the schedule we play, we don't really have those games where you can say, okay, we're going to rotate more people through. I've made it a priority to keep as many kids as we can on the roster. A few years ago, I think we might have had 63, which was a little difficult. Generally, we're in the mid to upper 50s. This year, we were actually a little bit more manageable. We were going to be probably in the lower 50 range with just an excited, really great group of kids. So, missing what we've missed to this point, whether it's, finally finished or not, we don't know yet, but that's the tough part. So it's, I think the kids understand, especially the underclassmen, that, generally speaking, it's the seniors' opportunity first. And if they seize the opportunity and play, they're going to get the bulk of the playing time. We had my son being one of them. And I think on the attack this year, we had, Michael and Jim Osorio and John Reboot, kids that, really worked hard as juniors but didn't get to play, that were going to be in the mix along with a couple of junior underclassmen and John Macron. But, and I think the kids know senior year they're gonna, get the first opportunity. But judging by our returning starters, we try to get as many of those juniors on the field that are worthy. So it's hard with our schedule, but I think the kids buy in. We do competitive practices, and they know what the end game is, and they know they're improving by playing against these better players all the time. We try to play as many as we can, but it's hard, to get the bottom third of the roster into these games for sure.
Absolutely. Now, you've got a lot of talent out there. Who do you choose to lead this bunch of talented individuals? Who do you look towards, or how do you categorize who's going to be your captain?
So the way we do it every year, it's almost a tradition. At the end of the previous year, we have the players vote. And then in the beginning of the year, usually before our first scrimmages, the coaches will assign one or two kids based on the preseason and off-season and all that. So unfortunately, we didn't get to the point of the coaches' picks yet. So I'll give you, like last year, the players, we let the last year seniors and the returning players vote. They selected, and a great choice of Aiden Denenza and Brennan O'Neill to lead us. And those kids have been great in communicating with us during this downtime and being my eyes and ears, trying to reach out to the kids and disseminate information. We had a cast of characters, I think, that the coaches were really looking at hard. We had an underclassman, Andrew McAvoy, who was doing everything we asked, but we had upperclassmen that had worked so hard in the off season. The list goes on from Jernigan to D'Agostino to a Jack Walsh to Pazienza back on the goalie end. So Jake Naso, who's almost been a pseudo captain on his own with everything he's done. So we had a numerous kids that were pushing to be leaders and showing themselves as leaders, which I think the competitive environment that we have, almost encourages that for kids to be leaders and not only just be along for the ride, as we say, to kind of make an impact. So we had plenty of leaders in that senior class, a kid like Chris Bardak and Kittleberger, I said Michael and those boys on attack, John. Everybody was pulling the train in the same direction. Just happy to be a part of things. So I think we have plenty of kids to choose from, which was going to be a nice problem to have.
And you're right. I mean, it's definitely something you want to be a part of. It's definitely a Friar family that, those kids year after year come back, they talk to you, you see them together. It's really nice. When you have 3 students going to the same college right off the bat, again, that says a lot about the camaraderie and the family that you've created over there. Really a nice job.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun to see the kids come back. It's fun to, get the texts and the emails you do from alumni after a big game, whether it be against Del Barton or Darien or the Chaminade game. Just hearing the buzz from people as you see them. So it's great. The kids are very mindful of that. We speak, I've been fortunate to be around the program almost my whole life since I'm a little kid, watching my brothers in the school and everything like that. So we really, really stress, the tradition of St. Anthony's and the program. It's almost, our mantra. We do it for the ones that came before us. We make our impact and we move on. That Friars Forever mantra is something we really hang on to. And I think the kids really embrace and enjoy being a part of. And that's what makes this year, so much more difficult than what we've lost so far, just because they haven't had the chance. And we, on paper anyway, and in what we had seen, we had a chance to make a pretty special impact on the history of the program, which we still will, in retrospect, but it's, they didn't get a chance to do all they had set out to do.
So, it'll be nice tracking them when they get to college next year. Hopefully next spring they're on the field, the seniors, and they're playing strong and playing hard. So it'll be exciting, at least to see them at that collegiate level, those that are graduating this year.
100%. We have kids going to the academies. I think we have, 3 boys going to Naval Academy. We have, Kittleberger and Caleb Gross, and we have Bardak going to Air Force, and Dylan D'Agostino going to West Point. We have Ivy Leagues. We have up and down this roster. We have the 3 boys going to Sacred Heart, like you said, and my son Michael, Alex Pazienza, and Rich Bart Victor. We have Craig Watson going to Wingate. I'm going to just run down a few here. Quentin Somers and Sean Conk going to Stony Brook. We have, who else do we have? Obviously, the Duke boys we covered. Jernigan going to Harvard. We have Joe Boyle, hardest working kid you'll meet, going to Scranton to play. Joe Bruno going on to Hofstra. We have a host of other kids that are still deciding where they're going to go, that are all capable. Jim Osorio going to Monmouth. So I think we have currently like 15 or 16 Division I commits out of our senior class, which is impressive for any program. And then we have a bunch of kids in the Division II and III levels. So just a testament to just what a special class this is. And like I said, hoping we get to to compete with them in some manner here, hopefully when things settle down.
Now, you guys had a nice little event with the Duke coach where you did a Zoom meeting, had some of the athletes come in. That was pretty impressive. How did they enjoy that?
No, it was great. It was well received. Coach Sanowski is tremendous. He's always on message, and he's just got a great demeanor. And I think he just talked about the kids, just focusing on being good to each other, being good to their families and their teammates, and how that helps any program. That's, one of the 5 points of emphasis that he builds a Duke program around. And it's basically, it comes down to, be good to yourself, be good to your teammates, and try your best and push yourself. So it was just a message that it may seem simple and a little redundant, but it's not. When you really think about it, it all boils down to, treating people well, pushing yourself, trying to set goals for yourself and making sure you support each other and you pull the train together. Like we said, no I in team is the old saying. And, we definitely feel like it's our thing last year was we, not me, so, and that's, I think, what we're about. We have all these all-stars, and highly ranked players, but in the end, it's the we, not the me, that gets you where you want to be.
I know I have a 9th grader who spring is his season. He plays baseball. And when I saw that Zoom meeting, I actually sent it to him and had him watch it because I was like, here's a great message for you going forward, being an athlete, being a human being. So if anybody hasn't seen it, I know it's on our webpage, the Friar Athletic webpage. We put it on Instagram. So please definitely take an opportunity to look into that interview with the Duke head coach.
That was a great
Your team is ranked nationally, and we have nationally ranked players. Can you explain a little bit about how some of these athletes have become nationally ranked players?
It's definitely, it's not a clear-cut process. The lacrosse world has evolved, and I'm involved in club program with the Express, and there's Team 91 that a lot of our kids are involved with, and Legacy. There's different programs that happen outside of the high school season where, you're able to get your high school kids in front of college coaches, in the fall and the summer for these events and showcases where they get to be seen. It's easier than doing it during the spring season because college coaches are obviously busy in their own season. And a lot of it comes from those tournaments that you're at with your team. And then they also have these individual, not really combines, but individual showcases these kids go to. And along with those events that are being seen by a lot of these, pundits of the club lacrosse world, college coaches also have some input. And I think Inside Lacrosse and Ty Zanders have been, pivotal in filling up the void of the high school lacrosse. Newsday and certain things haven't really done a great job over the last several years following up with it since I think Mike Quick kind of got out of the lacrosse game locally. So Inside Lacrosse has done a great job picking up the slack there. So I think they use a lot of different variables and get some information, and these kids are seen and they get rankings. And we're fortunate to have a lot of kids that are nationally ranked. I think Brennan O'Neill is the top-ranked 2020 player. I think Andrew McAdory is the top-ranked 21 player. So it's exciting stuff.
Solid schedule, solid talent. What about this program is attractive when kids start looking at where to go play high school lacrosse?
I think what separates us and Chaminade sometimes from the pack, although Kellenberg has made some inroads over the years, and St. John's, they've all done. St. Dom's now is stabilizing things a bit. I think consistency in the program. I mean, not myself necessarily, but I have been in place for over 20 years. Our JV coaches with Mike Chanichuk and our freshman coaches. We've rotated our freshman coaches a little bit over the years, but my assistants in Coach Adler, Coach Schreiber, Chris Conforti, those guys have been with me, throughout thick and thin. So I think the stability of the program, and Chanichuk and Lionel have been down on the JV for a long time. I think the stability of the program from the outside lends credence to the message we're doing. I think the school and the facilities and the Franciscan Brothers are, key to always embracing sports. It's an academic, first and capture the heart, the mind will follow is their mantra. But I think, they're also aware that some of the student athletes are coming here for sports in addition to the other attributes that the Franciscan education brings. And then once they're here, they get, more ensconced into the Franciscan methods and just the way of life that they're preaching. And I think that the combination of those, the facilities, the supportive administration and program, I was blessed to be with Mr. Buckley for the big chunk of my first part of this thing. And Joe Minucci now, a seamless transition. I think the leadership there and the support they give us allows it to be a very stable and and strong program. And it also has helped. I think the one thing that I did bring to it was, and part of it was a product of losing some games locally, the national schedule gives you this exposure to the kids that are looking at these rankings online, and we're always in there. You know, right, wrong, some people can debate some years, but, you know, generally we're deserving of that ranking, and we're going out and playing the best teams in the country. So I think the kids, when they're debating, am I going to stay here or compete and get better for the next level, I think we check all the boxes there, as does Chaminade and some of the other schools. But I think that's part of it, the consistency of the program, the support, and the Franciscan education, and then our schedule.
Yeah, definitely, because I know during the summer too, you see your camp and you bring a lot of the athletes back to work the camp. So it's definitely an opportunity where everything that you're doing here helps the athlete grow as an athlete and a student, helps the community learn more about what's going on in your program. And it's well received, I think, out in the community, without doubt. So it's nice to be part of it all.
Yeah, no, we love when the kids come back. That's the best part. And you love seeing even the high school seniors working with these young kids, and you see, them light up. I could tell them, this is how you shoot. And they'll say, okay. But then when one of these former players or current players shows them, they think it's, coming from Jesus. So it's great to watch the young kids really be just in awe of these high school and college players. And it's just, it really gives me a sense of pride when they come back and do that. And it makes you feel like the message was right when they were here, if they're all willing to come back and participate in things like this. It's validation and definitely a prideful moment.
Well, Keith, I tell you what, for me, it was educational talking lacrosse for you, learning more about your athletes, learning about the program and your schedule. Again, it's worth being part of. This Friar Nation, Friar Family always has something to give, and we really appreciate you taking the time. One of the other things today when we were doing our thank yous is, I know your lacrosse team and yourself with the food service business, and Keith, for those who don't know, runs our food service business at St. Anthony's, and it's enjoyable. I'm earning my frequent flyer miles. I make sure I get my soup during the winter, so I miss that. But they are sponsoring a food pantry program. Can you tell us a little about that?
Sure. So, and Coach Schreiber, obviously Doug Schreiber is my partner in the food service business at school. So we enjoy that, and obviously we're missing being part of that community and working up there every day and connecting with the kids. So what we were trying to do during this downtime is by Joe Minucci, our athletic director, had said, just make sure we engage and stay in touch with the kids. So we've been doing Zoom meetings with them, or some videos I sent out, and talking to the captains. And we said, we lost a lot here so far, and we're trying to make it an impact somehow, some way. So we decided as a team, the boys varsity lacrosse team, we started a fundraiser through Long Island Cares. We have a link and a website that I think is available on school, and I'm sure we can send it out again. I think it has 30 days left in the campaign. Initially, we were trying to raise 2,500 pounds worth of food for the local food pantries on Long Island, which take care of the kids that are missing school meals now and the families in need. And I think we surpassed that goal within 4 days. So they've upped our goal amount to 4,000 pounds. I think we're at 3,100 pounds now. But it's been a terrific thing, and just a nice thing that this group can put, the 2020 lacrosse team can put their mark on something good out of a otherwise, very stressful and trying time for everybody during this COVID-19 crisis. So we were very happy to be a part of that, and it was very well received.
Yeah, we'll make sure that the information is up when this interview goes out, that you get the information, get it right here during the interview. Now, we've been quarantined almost 2 months. How's your honey-do list looking? Getting stuff done on there?
Getting stuff done or moving it to another list. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at it. It's like Santa. I check it once, I check it twice. Not everything's getting accomplished, but no, it's been tough for everybody, reassessing what you're doing, and, the close family ties. A lot of positives comes out of it, but I think everybody's ready for the next phase of maybe reintroducing some other people into our lives again.
Definitely, I agree with you. Again, Keith, we thank you for taking the time to hang out with us today and tell us about the program. And again, thank you for everyone out there who's doing their part for COVID-19. Thank you, everyone. Keith, thanks for joining us, and Coach's interviews will continue.